Riley, thanks for joining us. It looks like the Department of Defense got more bad news with this recent mental health report. What can you tell us?
Well, the Defense Health Agency, which is a part of the Defense Department, recently released a report which says that diagnoses of mental health disorders increased by nearly 40% for active duty troops over the last 5 years. That's from 2019 to 2023. In those years, 541,672 active duty service members were diagnosed with at least one mental health disorder, according to that report. And that includes service members from the Army, the Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, and Space Force. Now, approximately 47% of those individuals, which is roughly 255,000, were diagnosed with more than one mental health disorder. Just in 2023 specifically, active duty service members experiencing a mental health disorder accounted for more hospital beds than any other affliction. That actually made up for 54.8% of all hospital bed days.
What kinds of diagnoses saw the biggest rise?
So, post-traumatic stress disorder and anxiety disorders accounted for the biggest rise in diagnoses. Diagnoses for those disorders specifically doubled during that time. Just for reference, the mental health disorders that are encompassed and defined by the Defense Department include acute stress disorders, bipolar disorders, depressive disorders, anxiety, PTSD, schizophrenia. There's many others, but those are many of the ones that are covered.
What were some of the trends seen?
So there were many troubling trends. Mental health disorder diagnoses were most often found in female service members, individuals from a younger age demographic, and the Army. That's one of the biggest findings. That being said, the Navy did lead all services in diagnoses of depressive disorders, bipolar disorders, and personality disorders. Active duty female service members were also diagnosed with PTSD at twice the rate of male service members, which is big. And incidence of diagnoses increased with age for female service members. The report did make mention of the COVID-19 pandemic as a potential catalyst for the uptick, but it did not specify a root cause in general for the rise in diagnoses. This report comes as the mental health of active duty troops and especially veterans is an issue right now. Veterans are almost twice as likely to die by suicide as civilians. In 2023, the rate of military suicides actually rose by 6%. This month, the VA announced that from 2021 to 2022, there were about 17.6 veteran deaths per day. That year, 6,407 veterans died by suicide. So it's a problem. And the VA is trying to branch out in some ways and figure out other solutions. The VA recently announced funding to study the benefits of psychedelics on post-traumatic stress disorder and alcohol use disorder among veterans. But this most recent study does come in the midst of a lot of questions about the ways in which our country and the Defense Department specifically is safeguarding and addressing the mental health problems of those who serve our country.
Well, Riley, thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
You can find more of Riley's coverage on this topic at militarytimes.com.